Your savings account is a scam. Your bank pays you 0.01% on your savings. Your bank lends your money out at 18 to 24%. That spread between what they pay you and what they charge everyone else is one of the most profitable businesses in human history. And you are the raw material. Your savings account is a scam. Today I'm going to show you exactly how banks legally take your money, why they've convinced you to thank them for it, and what you should do instead starting today. This video will make you angry. Good. Angry people make better financial decisions. Section 2. The Scam Explained. 100 to 230. Let's start with how a bank actually works, because most people have no idea. You deposit $10,000 in your savings account. The bank says thank you and pays you $1 per year at 0.01%. $10,000 0.01% equals $1 per year. Now here's what the bank does with your $10,000 the same day you deposit it. They lend it to someone else as a personal loan at 18% APR. $10,000, 18% equals $1,800 per year. The bank earns $1,800 from your money. They pay you $1. They keep $1,799. Pause, let the math sit. Or they lend it as a credit card at 24%. $10,000, 24% equals $2,400 per year. You get $1. Or as a mortgage at 7%. $10,000, 7% equals $700 per year. You get $1. In every single scenario, the bank makes hundreds or thousands of dollars from your money and hands you $1. This is not a glitch in the system. This is the system. It's called fractional reserve banking, and it is completely legal, completely normal, and almost completely invisible to the average person. Money flowing from your savings into multiple loan streams, trickling back as $1. Section 3, how we got here, 230 to 345. Now, banks didn't always do this to you aggressively. In the 1980s, savings account interest rates were 5%, 8%, even 12%. Inflation was high, but at least the bank was paying you something real. 1981, savings account rates up to 12%, 2010. Savings account rates 0.06%, 2024. Big bank savings accounts still averaging 0.01 to 0.46%. So what happened? The Federal Reserve dropped interest rates to near zero after 2008 to stimulate the economy. Banks' cost of borrowing dropped to almost nothing. But here's the thing, when rates went back up, banks were quick to raise what they charged borrowers. They were very, very slow to raise what they paid depositors. In 2023 and 2024, the Fed rate was over 5%. High-yield savings accounts were paying 4 to 5%. But the big four banks, Chase, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Citi, were still paying 0.01% to their regular savings customers. Fed rate 2024, 5.25 to 5.50%. Big bank savings, 0.01%. That is not an oversight. That is strategy. Your inertia, your failure to move your money is worth billions to them. Timeline graph showing rate divergence. Section 4, the psychology trap, 345 to 5. But here's what makes this truly diabolical. It's not just that banks take your money, it's that they've convinced you that saving is the responsible, smart thing to do. Think about every financial lesson you were ever taught. Save for a rainy day. Don't spend more than you earn. Put money in the bank. None of that is wrong exactly, but notice what's missing. Nobody ever said, invest the money so it works harder than a bank. Why? Because banks spend enormous amounts of money on financial education that conveniently stops right at the point where you might move your money somewhere they can't profit from it. They sponsor high school financial literacy programs. They run ads about savings accounts. They show happy families building security. All of it pointing to one product: park your money here. Meanwhile, the people running those banks are not keeping their personal wealth in savings accounts. They're in equities, real estate, private equity, index funds, assets that actually grow. What the bank CEO does with his money, not a savings account. They design one product for you and a completely different strategy for themselves. That is not an accident. What they tell you versus what they do. Section 5, the silent tax, 500 to 615. Now let's talk about inflation, because this is where the savings account goes from bad to catastrophic. Inflation in the U.S. averages 3 to 4% per year historically. In 2022, it hit 9.1%. Your savings account pays 0.01%. That means every single year your purchasing power shrinks. $50,000 in savings after 10 years at 3% inflation equals worth $37,200 in today's dollars. You didn't lose money, you lost $12,800 in real value, while your account balance sat there looking perfectly fine. This is the cruelest part of the scam. The number doesn't go down, so you think you're safe. But silently, year after year, that money buys less and less. It's like a gas leak. No smell, no alarm. You just slowly suffocate. Real return on savings account, minus 2.99% per year. 0.01% earned minus 3% inflation, a negative return. On money you were told was safe. Safe from what? The money is shrinking. What exactly are you safe from? Jar of money slowly emptying, visual metaphor for purchasing power loss. Section 6, what banks don't show you, 615 to 730. Let me show you the same $10,000 in 3 different places over 30 years. Traditional savings account at 0.01%, $10,030, high-yield savings account at 4.5%, $37,453, S&P 500 index fund at 10% average, $174,494. Hold on those 3 numbers. Same $10,000, same 30 years. $10,030 versus $174,494. The difference is $164,464 from one decision. Now multiply that by every dollar you've ever let sit in a savings account, doing nothing, for years. Now I know what you're thinking. The stock market is risky. You can lose money. Yes, in any given year, absolutely. But over 30 years, the S&P 500 has never had a negative return. Not once. Every 30-year window in history has been positive. Meanwhile, the savings account has a 100% chance of losing to inflation. Tell me again which one is actually risky. Bar chart race 3 accounts growing over 30 years. Savings account barely moves. Section 7. Objections destroyed. 730 to 830. Let me handle the objections before the comments do. Objection 1. But my money is FDIC insured in a savings account. Yes, up to $250,000. That protection exists for index funds and ETFs too through SIPC insurance. Different mechanism, same protection concept. This is not a reason to accept a minus 3% real return. Objection 2. What about my emergency fund? Valid, keep 3 to 6 months of expenses liquid. In a high-yield savings account, not a big bank savings account. You can get 4 to 5% right now through Marcus, Ally, SoFi, or a money market fund. Same liquidity. 400 times more interest? This is not hard. Objection. 3. The stock market crashed in 2008. Yes, and fully recovered by 2012, and then 3 times it after that. If you left money in an index fund in 2008 and didn't touch it, you made a fortune. The only people who lost were the ones who panicked and sold. Objection. 4. I don't know enough about investing. You don't need to. Buy VTY or V001 ETF that owns the entire U.S. market. Set it, forget it. That's it. That's the whole strategy. Each objection gets crossed out as it's addressed. The exact playbook, 830 to 930. Forward lean. This is what they came for. Here is the exact move, step by step. Step 1. Keep 3 to 6 months emergency fund in a high-yield savings account. Ally, Marcus, SoFi, currently paying 4 to 5%. Not your Chase savings. Move it today. Step 2. Open a brokerage account. Fidelity, Vanguard, or Schwab. Free. Takes 10 minutes. Step 3. Everything beyond your emergency fund goes into a total market index fund. VTY or VOO. Set up automatic monthly contributions. Step 4. If your employer offers a 401k match, take the full match first. That is an instant 50 to 100% return. Nothing beats it. Step 5. Max your Roth IRA, $7,000 per year in 2024. Tax-free growth, tax-free withdrawals. The most powerful wealth-building account most people ignore. That is the entire playbook. 5 steps. Anyone can do this. You do not need a financial advisor. You do not need to pick stocks. You do not need to understand options or crypto or anything complicated. You need to stop letting your money rot in a savings account and start letting it compound in an index fund. $500 per month in VTY from age 25 to 65 at 10% average equals $2,655,000. Same habit in savings account equals $245,000. Difference, $2,410,000. From one decision, the 5 steps appear one by one with visual icons. Section 9, the close, 9:30 to 10. The savings account isn't a scam because it's illegal. It's a scam because it's sold as safety when the real effect is slow, invisible wealth destruction. The bank is not your partner. It is a business. It profits when you are passive, uninformed, and inert. The move is simple. Stop being passive. Move your emergency fund to a high-yield account today. Open an index fund account this week. Automate a monthly contribution. That's it. You don't need to be a finance genius. You just need to stop funding someone else's yacht with your own money. If this opened your eyes, share it with someone whose money is sitting in a big bank savings account right now. You might just change their retirement. Subscribe. Next week, we're going after the 401k, the retirement account that might actually be working against you.